Hey, what's up guys? Welcome back to the shop. My name's Adam, SNS 42. So I'm going to have two parts for you again this week. We got quite a bit of footage, some video from this past week and past weekend of some projects that I worked on, and we're going to throw that in there. I've also got some viewer appreciation mail that showed up this week. We're going to go into that. I had a very special guest come by and see me and visit with me, and we did get a clip of that, and he also brought some viewer appreciation mail with him whenever he showed up. Really nice surprise there, so you guys will get to see that. And like I said, I do have some work that I did mostly last weekend, actually last Saturday and Sunday. I spent a little time out here in the shop. I got one project done for the Monarch lathe, and that is the coolant spout, the leaking problem that I had. I went ahead and jumped on that. I want to do a repair, so we got that done, and I got that to share with you. I also had another little, sort of like a little rush job that I had to do last weekend. Somebody called me up and said, hey, there's actually an axle out of a Jeep, and they needed some help with this axle. So they asked if it was something that I could do, did I want to do it, and I told them sure. So we got that taken care of. I got it all on video. It's something I haven't shown in a video before, so I thought it would be pretty cool to share what I did. And it's not machine work, it's more mechanical work, but I did involve a little bit of the machine work too. You know, that's just, I guess that's a machinist style. You know, you got to add a lathe or mill in there somewhere. So we got that to share with you, and that'll be in part 2 actually. So I'm actually filming this kind of late. It's pretty late. It's almost 9 o'clock now at work. This is our inventory week at where I work. So we're having to stay late, not only for work, for jobs, but we're having to do inventory. And Friday night we've all got to stay real late to finish that. So I'm trying to get a little jump start on some of the video making for you and have some of it done, so that Saturday I'm not out here half the day making videos and trying to get them uploaded for my regular 2 o'clock scheduled release that I try to stick to. So I guess that's about it. And also, I was going to point this out. Probably wondering, the heck is that? It looks like some dentures or something, right? So these are some fake teeth that Elena's got for her costume, and part of her costume, she wanted to have the old school style braces that kind of come around your head, and you know, it hooks to your head or something like that, which I actually know really nothing about, just going off of memory of seeing them in movies, on TV or whatever. So I threw this together tonight before I started this, and I probably had about an hour in it, but I'm trying to let the epoxy dry. But anyway, I took a stainless steel welding rod, 1/8 welding rod, and just hand shaped it, and I welded some stainless washers on the end so that she could connect it in the back. And I drilled some holes in the fake teeth and used some fast dry epoxy and stuck the rods in there and epoxied them. Hopefully they'll hold. So anyway, maybe you can get a little better shot of it right there. It's just crude, you know. They're not the same. I just hand bent them over there on the anvil and then welded the rings on. So I'm just trying to let the epoxy set right now, because tomorrow she's going to be using that at work as part of her costume, and which, by the way, she's going to take some video of so that we can share it with you guys and see what she looks like for Halloween. So anyway, I just thought I'd share that with you too. It's kind of funny. That's a one-off job right there, man. I ain't never done anything like that. So anyway, we'll go ahead and get to the video. We've got some viewer mail, and we'll get to some projects, okay? Hope you guys enjoy, and we'll be talking to you real soon. Hey guys, I'm gonna open some viewer appreciation mail,
And me too.
and Elena's gonna join us.
I'm dressed like this because I went to work looking like a jerk off today, but I wanted to open this mail. I'll tell you what happened. So I came home at lunch, minding my business, like I do every day with my friends. The mail lady comes up, she goes, I have a package you have to sign for. So I signed for it, and then I gave her some candy for Halloween. She's very excited.
Oh, very nice.
I know. I said, Happy Halloween. Your mother gave it to me, but I can't have candy. So then, I signed for it, and it's this package. And it came all the way from Greece. And I asked
Yep.
Adam if I could open it, and he said no. But now I'm here.
I've seen how you open packages. You open them like Christmas gifts. You got to be a little delicate with some of this stuff.
I can be delicate when I need to be.
With,
I'm a lady.
Not with these, you don't know how to be. Just rip them open. You
I
gotta be
love
careful.
ripping open packages.
I know. That's why I said no. You can't open this one up.
This came from Demetris Jimmy.
Came from. I know him as Jimmy. And how do you say his name there? Demetrius
Polychronis. That's a cool name.
Yep, he's from Greece. I don't know what city he's from, but me and him we've exchanged a few emails. And Jimmy, he actually has a YouTube channel also with some pretty interesting videos. I've watched one of his about some gravity feed oilers that he restored, and he did a really nice job on them. So I'll find his link and post it up there to video so that if interested, you guys can check his videos out too.
Open it.
So let's see what.
I waited all day.
So let's see what Jimmy sent us. He did a really good job taping this thing up.
Excellent taping. I couldn't peek it at Christmas time. Try to get in that thing.
I think he's trying to hide all the seams here.
Adam has to triple wrap my presents.
All foreign language, and just like his.
It's literally in
his,
Greek.
His address there. You know, I don't know how to read that.
You know what to say? It's all Greek to me.
Yep.
It's a saying.
Let me see.
I think old people say that.
Oh, look at that.
Ooh, it's a fancy box.
Well, I mean, I got it on the right spot the first time. Okay.
Oh my God, bubble wrap! Give it to me!
It's actually pretty heavy.
I shook it. It didn't break. Can I have the bubble wrap, please? I like to pop it.
Don't play with it right now. Okay, what we got here?
Ooh, thingamabobs and limity gibbets. I'll take that.
Okay. Looks like we have some taps. And
For tapping?
We got a letter here. So let's see. UNC 7/8. So we got some 7/8 taps, and
Nice.
I believe this is 1-inch taps.
Goes in the flange.
So let's we got a letter there.
Oh, you got doinked.
Tom Lipton just doinked me. He said he was going to. Did you open it yet? Yes, I've already opened it, Tom. I've got him pulled up on my screen there, and I told him I was about to open up a viewer appreciation gift. He said he'll doink me.
Let's see. It's excellent packaging. Excellent.
Got them all taped together here.
I love the bubble wrap.
Okay, I'm trying to be.
You're killing me.
I'm seeing if this is a. It's got to be a 1-inch. Man. look at
And
that.
wrapped again?
Wrapped again.
You got some skills there, Jim.
That's some of that. That's some nice wrapping right there. That's that oil paper. That wax paper.
It's like a candy.
And it don't look like I'm going to get it open without tearing it.
You ruin everything. Oh, shoot.
Keep it kid friendly.
I said shoot! Oh, it's a screw!
1-inch 8 Unified National course, but that is a different profile from what I'm used to seeing there. That's a bit different. It almost looks like an Acme thread, but I'm not sure.
We're gonna have to do some
Well, I'll have
looking
to-
it up on the internets.
I'm gonna have to do a little bit of research and find out what we got here. So it looks like there is 3 of each. There's one more right here. And these other ones are 7/8. So we'll check. We'll go into these a little further. This feels like a tool bit, maybe.
Maybe. A piece of stone from the Greek islands.
It looks like a piece of tool steel.
Nice. A big piece of metal.
Looks like a 3/4.
Let me
Okay.
feel the consistency.
I think it's cobalt.
Yeah, it is. I can tell by the weight of it.
Let's see.
It's got to get tested with your thing on the jig.
It's a 3/4 tool bit
That's exactly what I said it
from
was.
Czechoslovakia.
What? You get things
And,
from all over the place.
10% cobalt.
Nice.
There's Tom again. He's dinging me. I just sent him a reply. All right, so we got some really cool taps here,
Super cool.
and he's got a letter here, and most likely I'm not going to read through all this, but yep, we've got a lot to read here, and it looks like he's going to go into the specifics of the tools here.
Yeah, right there.
Yep.
Uh-huh.
So let me do a little bit of research, and we'll come back and we might talk about these again. But anyway, Jimmy, thank you very much for the gifts.
Thank you.
It was awesome, especially whenever you get something from overseas, man. It's just like a nice treasure to get something like this from a fellow YouTube viewer from overseas. And I'm very curious as to what the taps are used for, so we're going to check into it, and we'll read your letter, and thank you very much, man. So,
Okay, bye. Thanks for brightening up my Monday. Monday's the worst.
yep, let's see what Tom's looking. Keeps
Tom,
beeping me.
you're ridiculous. Oh, we talked about Tom in here too.
Yep. All right, guys, we'll be back.
Bye.
Okay, so now that we don't have the peanut gallery out here with us, I can talk to you guys a little bit more about this. I read Jimmy's note here, and like I said, I'm not going to read the whole thing, but I think there's a few things in this note that's worth mentioning on video, because he's talking about some of the tool companies over in his area, and a couple other things that I'll mention right here out of his letter. Videos like yours, and also Tom Lipton's, Keith Fenner's, Mr. Pete, and many others, are reference point for all novice machinists like me. That does not mean that we can do what you can, but it gives us ideas. Another great thing is that all of you managed to create a community to share and exchange knowledge, and he's right. This is something that doesn't happen in Greece, although we have great craftsmen, machinists, etc. So he is actually from Athens, Greece. Very, very cool. I wasn't sure what city until I read his letter here. So about the tools here. So this brand is called, I assume you pronounce that Narex, N-A-R-E-X, and he talks about that company in here. All the tools are made in Czechoslovakia, Narex company. It's still in business. It makes high quality tools, and he uses the tiny version of the high-speed steel cobalt blanks. And by the way, the tool bit is a 10% cobalt 3/4 inch tool bit. Very nice. It's brand new, never been ground on. Many reputable brands are from Czechoslovakia, like Narex, Kinex, Summit, and Skoda tools. And gives a link there, Skoda, and also mentions that James Kilroy uses a Skoda in his video K&T Crank #1. So he's giving me a little story how he acquired a lot of these tools, and also he gave me his Skype address. He said he would love to Skype with me one day. and he is 8 hours I'm 8 hours behind him. So very cool letter. Thank you, Jimmy. I really enjoyed reading that. About the taps, I'm still a little confused about this type of tap. Now, this is a 1" 8, and then this one is a 7/8 9, just like your standard imperial sizing taps. But the only difference is that the diameter is smaller, and that's why they look flat. And at first I had said that kind of looks like an Acme. So I'm still not sure exactly what this is used for. So if somebody, whoever's watching, if you understand this, or even Jimmy, you can tell me why the taps are undersized the way they are. I measured the 1", you know, and usually a tap measures a few thousandths bigger than the nominal size, and that measures 914 thousandths across here. So without using it, I don't see that, you know, tap a hole. I don't think a 1" bolt will screw into it. So got to do a little more research on these and find out what they're actually used for. But anyway, so I just wanted to touch on that and tell Jimmy thanks again. This company does a great job of packaging. They use this wax paper and they put oil on it, so it preserves the tools for a very long time, and they still use the little cardboard boxes. Although this may be some older stock, some you know, stuff that's been around for a while. So anyway, again, thank you very much, Jimmy. It was a pleasure talking to you through your email and the letter and the nice gifts, man. I really appreciate it. Thank you. So while we're still on the subject of viewer mail, I also have another package that showed up. This comes to us from Jack Poing, and he's already sent me a couple things in the past, and he sent me another little box here, and he says, Adam, a local hospital was changing out all of their surgical supplies, so I picked up a bunch of clamps and such. Maybe they'll come in handy for a repair job sometime. Jack. P.S. Yes, these have probably been inside a lot of people. I love that P.S. on the end. So Jack sent me a nice little assortment of surgical tools here, and we got several of the style. Again, last time this was brought up, I could not remember the name of these things. I know what it is, but I can't think of it now. So I'm sure I'll get reminded with 30 comments. So anyway, there's your clamps that lock. We've got a couple of those. These are like straight, kind of like little needle nose pliers here. They don't have any of the grooves machined on them. They're just flat. That's another one that's flat. There's no grooves machined in it. This one has a little well, that's another curved one here. And then, so that's a straight one. So two of these are like little scissors, little shears. We got two like that. So, and they're all clean. I'm sure they're all, I mean, obviously they're all stainless steel. So got a nice little assortment of these little goodies right here, and I'll put a few over here in the box, and we'll probably take a couple inside and give to Alana. We got a little toolkit inside for different things. So, and you know, there's a few in here, so you know, I don't mind sharing some of these with somebody else too. So time comes along, somebody needs one of these, I'll pass them along. So thank you very much, Jack. I appreciate it, man. Hey guys, I went ahead and took the coolant spout off the Monarch lathe. I showed this to you in the video. This is where it's leaking, in this joint right here. I want to attempt to silver solder this up, see if I can seal it. I'm not sure how it's going to go, just because there's probably a lot of dirtiness down inside here. So I'm about to go over there and wire brush this area here, but getting down inside there to get it clean, I'm not so sure about. So what I might have to do is, I've used some of my fast evaporating cleaner. I've sprayed it, try to get it down in there. What I might have to do is warm it up, heat it up, kind of boil the crud out is what I'm hoping. but even then I'm not sure if the silver is going to take down in there and bond. So we're just going to give it a shot. It's worth trying, and hopefully I can get it fixed, and if we don't, then we'll move on to maybe we'll just buy us a new one and replace it. But it is all solid brass, so it'd be a nice one to have. And not sure if that's how they connect it, but I'm assuming that's how they did from the factory, is silvered it in there. So we're going to see if we can get this thing fixed up. Alright. So I told you wrong, I lied. I assumed it was all brass, but it is not. I didn't even think to check it with a magnet. But you can see the different colors there. So the flex line is actually steel, and then the ends are brass. But the patina that was on it, and there's a little bit of paint on it, it looked like that it was all solid brass just by judging by the color. So you can see this in here. Definitely tell that it's been silver soldered in, and I believe that the end that's leaking was done also the same way. It looks like there's remnants of the silver still on there. So we're going to try it again, and we'll see if we can repair it. Alright? Alright, I'm going to do a little preheat. I thought I'd show you my torch I'm going to use. Again, Smith. This is just a soldering torch. Hooks straight to the acetylene, and it just pulls in oxygen from the atmosphere. And it's perfect for soldering. You can adjust your heat. I just want to do a preheat before I even start this to try to see if there's any crud in there that's boiling out of it. Looks like some of the solder's trying to come out already. It's getting pretty hot. I can see the steel discolored now. Just trying to get some of this flux down in there while it's hot. Maybe it'll help clean it. Might be a little too hot now, but it seems to be doing pretty good. So we might get lucky here and be able to solder it. Alright, I think it's cooled down now. Alright. Let's put a little heat on it again and see if it'll suck that solder down in here. This is just one of the spools I grabbed. Bernzomatic brand. Silver bearing, lead free solder. All right, I think I'm filling the joint anyway. I think that might have it. Did a little better than I expected. I'll have a little bit of, I have one drop over here, it kind of rolled down. I'll have to clean it up again. So now it looks good. I think that might work. So we're just going to let that cool to ambient temp, and I'm getting ready to go down to, I'm going to go down to Lowe's and go ahead and buy a ball valve for the that this is going to hook to. We're going to go ahead and replace that, and when I get back we'll clean this up and put a new ball valve on there. You know what really grinds my gears? Going down to the store and buying something that you think is an American-made item, only to further read the fine print and it says made in China. Right here on the tag it says American Valve, Greensboro, North Carolina, made in China. Why can't we make this kind of stuff, huh? I just don't get it. But that's the way of the world, right? You know, everything you go down to the store and buy is imported junk. So this is going to be the new valve for the Monarch, and I'm going to remember this because this may not stay on there for a long time. I would rather have an American-made quality part on the Monarch. But like I said, we'll go ahead and install it and use it, but I'll be keeping my eyes out for a better one, and possibly even the valve that's on there now. I might see about rebuilding that, seeing if we can get it working better. So anyway, just thought I'd rant for him a little bit. It's common, you know, you go down to the big box store and you want to get stuff like this, and everything in the bins is imported. It just burns me up, man. So much stuff that could be made here on our shores and put our people to work and let our businesses thrive. But no, it's all sent overseas and imported. That's what grinds my gears. Alright, well, I'm ready to reconnect all this stuff again. I went ahead and pulled the old ball valve or gate valve off there, and got the spout cleaned up. I wire brushed it. It's got a nice look to it. I actually like that. And there's a good shot at the end of it where I silver soldered it in there. It looks like it's welded really good, and I think that'll hold. There's the other end there, cleaned up. So, got a couple things to bring up here. This is all pipe right here, you know, so you can pretty much build it any way you want. And after my rant earlier, I got to thinking, I remember seeing a gate valve around here somewhere, so I started hunting. And over there in my bins on the very bottom, I found two never used gate valves, or actually I think these are considered ball valves because it's a ball and seat on the inside of it, but they've never been used. And I remember that these things were over in them bins. And this is probably some older stuff, you know, been around a little while. Milwaukee Valve Company Incorporated. So I'm willing to bet these are probably American made. So what I'd rather do is actually use one of these over here, you know. I actually think that looks better. It's got a little more A-bomb size to it, right? Well, I don't have any of the proper pipe nipples or adapters that I need to hook this up right now. So if I go down to the store again, I'm just going to be getting more of that stuff that, you know, I don't like to buy. So I'm just going to hold off on this for now. So I got a good valve that I didn't have to buy because it's already in our stock here. And I think this will be a really good valve to use for the coolant. So we're going to go ahead and hook up this cheapo for now, and then another time I'm going to gather up the right hardware I need to adapt to that bigger ball valve there. All right, so I went ahead and attached it to the one side. This nipple went right here, and I use this stuff here, Loctite 567. It's thread sealant for pipe, and it just takes a little bit. I just put a real thin layer around it. Usually you get a little more than what you need. Just kind of rub it around there. I think that'll work. That feels like where it's seated last time, you know, whenever I unscrewed it, because it's getting kind of tight right there. And I don't think I want to go all the way around again. So I think we'll leave that right there. Let me check it on this side, see how it feels. Yep, I think that'll work good right there. Let me get a rag. And this piece here actually pivots. It's like a banjo joint. You can actually, it's pretty snug, but you can pivot this. There's a clamp here that you can loose, and you can raise and lower this. Although I've got it about as high as it'll go right now. All right, so last thing, we're going to put the little spout on there. Put a little bit more of my thread sealant, just a little bit. Okay. And a little touch, I'm going to use my new Billings wrench that I showed you, that I got at the flea market, the 5/8 Okay. Anymore, it's going to start twisting that pipe. All right. Well, let me put these tools up and we'll fire it up and see if it leaks. Right. So I think you can see the new Chicom ball valve there. So what do you guys think? Here we got the new, never used Milwaukee ball valve. You can see it, how it operates inside there. Got that little ball and seat. Think that look better over here? I actually think it would. So like I said, I've got to replumb it for the larger size. This is 3/4 pipe. This is 1/4 pipe. I think that elbow there might be 3/4 also. So all I'd really need is a 3/4 nipple to go from there to there, and then a reducer bushing to go from this to the stem. So let me know what you think about that. I think I kind of like the looks and feel of this on here better than that ball valve there. So anyway, let's try it out. Anything to make a mess. It is full stream, so got a lot of flow. Splashing all over down here. Okay. I think that was just for me right there. It was a little drop, but I think I splashed that up there. All right, so I'm just looking at all the joints here. Our new welded joint here. I don't see any leaking. So I think we're good to go. That just feels weird to me now because I'm so used to having that actual handle up there that you twist, that you turn with your hand instead of the ball valve action. But it'll work. It'll do the job for now. Come on. Yeah, I think I've actually got to lower it now, and that's why I had it where it was, so that you can bring the spout down a little bit closer. Okay. All right, guys. It is working better than the old valve that I pulled off because it was just wore out. So you get a little bit better flow action using the new one. Okay, well, I'm happy I finally got the leaking stopped anyway. But we're going to come back to this another time, and we're going to hook up one of those, I think. Okay, see you next time. Alright guys, I got another special guest in the shop this week, and I think you'll be excited to see who it is. Come on in.
Alright, man.
We got Keith Rucker in the shop. He come by to see me today, and we've been hanging out and just talking all kinds of shop and going over some tools and things like that. But he's coming through town. I said you got to go over to.
Yeah, so I had to go today over close to Mobile for something with work. I had to go look at some of my research plots, and anyway, it was too late to drive home, so I said, well, I'll just go back to Pensacola, spend the night, and come and see Adam while I'm over in the area. So.
Yeah, and he came bearing gifts too. got some cool stuff right here, and so we'll share some of this stuff with you, and we got some surprises right here to show you also that I didn't even know about until he brought them in. But so he had went up to the Arnfest.
Yep.
A couple weeks ago. That was up in Indiana.
I was in Illinois.
Illinois.
Yep,
okay.
Outside of Chicago.
And Keith and I had been working out a deal with another gentleman named Doug.
Yeah, right? Doug Broberg.
Doug. And Doug had some 50 taper tooling and asked if I was interested in any of it. And so I said, yes, there's some things that I'd like to have. We had a couple arbors. Well, I think one arbor, but we've got a couple here. And also some 50 taper end mill holders. And I don't remember exactly what sizes that I told you I wanted, but we've got 4 of them in here. And they're just nominal sizes, like that looks like maybe 5/8 or 3/4.
Yeah, one of those. I think that's 1.25 maybe.
1.25 right here. And these are this one is a Yusa, made in Japan. Very good quality stuff. This one's made by Beaver. It's a Beaver tool and engineering. I think that's a 1/2 inch.
Looks like 1/2 inch.
So we got one of those, and then we've got a little smaller one. And that's probably a 3/8 right there.
Is that a Beaver too?
Yep, Beaver end mill holder number 13. It says.
All right. Never heard of Beaver.
So got some nice end mill holders right here. We'll have to do a little bit of cleaning on them. So we got those, and then ran into my material there. Got another 50 taper arbor, and this is a 1 inch. As you guys know from watching my videos, I had a 1 inch, and it's got a little bend in it. So I believe Doug said that this one is nice and straight and runs true. So he gave this one to me. We've got plenty of the spacers and the running bushings on here. So that'll be a nice addition right there. And then he also threw in another 1 inch arbor, this guy right here. And I think this one is, you said it might have a little bit of a bend in it maybe.
He thinks it has a little run out, and it's a little bit rough.
Yeah, it's a little rough, but I guess he had no need for it, so he said, here, just throw that in there and take it to Adam. So it is, it's been spun a little bit on there. Boy, look at that gouge.
Yeah, it's got some pretty bad spots in there. But
You guys are probably wanting to see, look at that one right there. That one got caught up in it. So anyway, so we've got a couple more arbors to add to the K&T collection of tooling. And so he also surprised me with something else. And if you guys watch Keith's video, you know he's been having a little bit of help with the 3D printing work. And you know, what is his name again?
So Charles Marlin. Charles
Okay.
is one of my viewers, and I think he watches your channel and Tom Lipton's channel and some others as well. But
Okay.
he's a designer, basically does 3D modeling work. Does some really cool stuff. He's just whiz bang at it. He's been helping me do some pattern making stuff and just all kinds of projects. So he's just graciously said, "Yeah, just whatever you need, let me know," and he'll work it in his schedule and do it. And he's been sending me some patterns to for casting and stuff that we've been using, and it's been working out great. So
Yep. So Keith's got some stuff in his videos that he's been showing some patterns. And so these guys kind of came together and thought of another idea to work out on the 3D printer. So he came up with a little logo for the shop here, and so he made this on his 3D printer. A nice little A-Bomb 79 logo with the micrometer on there. Very cool.
yeah,
Whenever he showed it to me, I'm like, what? Man, that thing is awesome. And he's also got another one right here. Now this one is a black color, and it's a little bit thicker than the yellow one right here. So he worked out a 3D model using his 3D printer, and they come up with this really cool looking logo. So to top it off though, the reason why he wanted to make one of these is for this guy, which is what Keith did.
so yeah, we did a little foundry work, and we actually used this black one here as a pattern, and I cast that out of brass. And I got some video of me ramming this up, but I haven't showed it yet, so I was going to surprise Adam first. So maybe we'll get that in one of my videos down the road. But anyway, we cast this out of brass, and came in here and cleaned it up a little bit, and kind of buffed it out and got it nice and shiny on there. So anyway, little brass paperweight or whatever you want to do with it. So
Well, all I know is that you did some awesome work on it, and I was completely surprised. I had no idea that he was doing this, and I suck at designing and logos and all kinds of stuff. So they did a jam up job coming up with this idea right here and making this logo. I really like it. It's very neat.
that was all Charles is doing on the logo, man. I told him, I said, let's come up with a logo for Adam. I said, I don't know what to do. You know, he goes by A-Bomb 79. I said, maybe you can put a micrometer or something to make it look like a machine shop. And he sent that back to me. It wasn't an hour or two. He sent that back to me. And I'm like, that's perfect.
Guys like Charles, man, they could just throw something together really fast. So you did a great job, Charles. It looks great. I really like it. And Keith did a fantastic job of casting it, trying to get you a nice little shot of how it looks here. He did a little polish on the top. So very, very cool. And you know, I'm not sure exactly what we'll do with this. I know I want to have it. I'll probably have it up here on my shelf, and we might try to have it to where we can see it in some videos. But very cool and awesome job, Charles and Keith. Thanks for making that for me.
And he's also got the CAD files for you with the design. He's gonna. I got those. I'll email those to you later. So if you want to use it for something else down the road, you'll have the CAD files to use that with.
I like it, and we might have to incorporate this design into a new background for the YouTube channel or something like that, because it is nice and I like it. So there's one more over there. You can grab that one.
Oh yeah,
and that was a reverse.
Yeah, this was a reverse. So I think Charles said he was playing around with his 3D printer and he needed to do this for something else, and it was when he was working on these. So he made a reverse. This is like a mold. So this black one, if you need to see it, just kind of it fits down in there perfectly. And he said he actually had done some of these and made some chocolate molds out of them. So I told Adam, said, you can get your wife on her cooking channel there on YouTube to make some A-Bomb 79 chocolate molds or something. I don't know.
And that's probably exactly what we'll do. We'll make us some A-Bomb
Use
79
it as an
chocolates.
ice tray. I don't know.
We'll come up with something. They have some A-Bomb 79 ice for some cocktails.
There you go.
All right, man. Well, very cool stuff, and I'm glad that you came by, and hell, you got a room at the hotel and stopped by to see me for the evening.
Absolutely.
And I had gathered up a few extra little inserts for Keith to take home and try, so he's got some goodies to take back with him. And
yeah, and I'll show those in one of my videos coming up here.
There you go. Yep.
But that was worth the trip right there. That's worth all this. He's loading me up on inserts. So
I was over there showing him my goodies in the drawers, and that was my air compressor running there. But yeah, so I gave him some inserts to try out, so he'll have some more cutting goodies to use in his videos and get some of his work done. So
good deal.
Appreciate you picking us up and bringing it by, man.
Yeah, thank you, Adam.
All right, man.
Enjoy your channel, man.
Well, I enjoy yours too. I appreciate you always commenting and giving me some positive feedback and everything. It's just been it's been fun, man. It's been
the whole YouTube thing's just been a blast. So
it has. It's a great community out there, and we all enjoy hearing from each other and watching each other's projects and work and stuff like that. It's been a lot of fun. So I'll keep watching yours too.
Great, thanks. Appreciate it.
All right. Well, we'll see you later on. We're gonna get back to some shop talk, I guess. So here's our next victim. We got a little mechanical repair job to do here. This is an axle out of a Jeep Wrangler, and this is a repair job that's going on over at a local garage just down the road from me. And they got in touch with me and asked me if I could help them do this. What you've got is the bearing destroyed and it come apart, so you've got another collar that's pressed on behind it. This has got to come off. The bearing race has got to come off, you know, and then the seal. There's your seal behind it. So we've got to get this off and then install the new bearing, the new seal, the bearing, and then the lock collar. So here's one of them. They gave me 2 sets, but you know, I'd rather put SFK stuff on here than Master Pro. Okay, so we got a new bearing. There's the lock collar and a new SFK oil seal. So there's a couple ways that you can go about doing this. I do have a couple bearing splitters that I can probably use. Here's one of them right here. Bearing splitter, and you can put this on here and go up behind it and then use this in the hydraulic press to back it up and then press the shaft and pull everything off. And that, you know, that's a typical way to do it. Another way that we may try is we might use a little heat. Flip this upside down, clean this good, and then flip it upside down and put a little heat on it, a little local heat right on the ring, and it may swell it enough for it to fall off. And same way with the bearing race, but that doesn't always work, but it might work. So I think we might try the heat method first. And it's not, you don't want to get it over, you know, too hot. You don't want to overheat this axle, but if you can get it hot enough in one spot fast enough, it might fall off there. So I think that's what we're going to try. So I want to get some of this oil off of it, get it kind of dry, and then we'll come back and see if we can remove this stuff. All right, I got her cleaned off. Used my fast dry solvent, kind of get the wetness off of it. Now we'll probably see a little bit of burning because there's still rubber on this oil seal right here, but that's all right. I'm going to try on the little locking collar right here first. Also, I used my wire brush. Just went around and wire brushed the bottom of it just to try to make sure there's no grit or dust on it to prevent it from sliding down. And we're just going to give it a shot and see if this works. If it doesn't, we'll go to other methods. Just using my old ratty TIG gloves here. I'm going to heat it a little and then I'm going to slam it. see a little shaking. Yeah. Ain't coming off. Okay, well that didn't work. Sometimes it works, but I've already got a lot of heat on that, so I need to let it cool back down. Alright, so we'll, I don't know what kind of interferences they got on that, so we'll let this cool a little bit, and we'll try the hydraulic press method, okay? Alright, we're going to set it up in the Dake hydraulic press. Got to get it adjusted first. I need to put a little lube on my worm gear up here. Let me go get it. Put a little bit of that bow shield up there. Not a lot of gap there for the plates to clear the flange, so let me go find my blocks. I'll be right back. All right, I found some 1-inch flat bar, and I got it on each side of the clamshells here to support it. So the split clamshell here is up underneath the bearing race, and my hopes is that it is going to push the race and that ring off there at the same time. Still got to get the height adjusted, so I'm going to have to go down a notch again, I believe. Let's see. Get the tension off the cable there. All right, here we go. See if we can catch it. There it is. There's the oil seal. Okay. All right. Well, that worked. That's why it pays to have a hydraulic press around the shop. All right, let's go clean this up, and we'll get them put on. So what I'm doing here is I'm just giving the shaft a little polish. We're going to clean up the bearing journal here, and we're going to give this seal journal a nice polish. See where it runs? They always leave a little wear pattern there. Alright, I think that'll work. Okay. Alright, let's go put them on. Alright, first thing you got to remember is to put it back in the right order. You know, this plate was behind everything, so that goes on first. Alright, we got our oil seal. I'm just going to put just a little bit of grease here just to help it slide and rotate on startup. Alright, and that'll help keep that plate from falling down there. Alright. Trying to figure out which way it goes on now. I was looking at the old one here. You've got, this is how it was together, okay? You've got the numbers pointing towards the inside, and then the larger radius going towards the outside of the bearing there. So there's our larger radius. That'll go to the outside, numbers to the inside. And what I'm going to do here, I'm not going to bump it all the way on. I just want to try to get it started so that they don't fall off whenever I'm setting this over in the press. Alright, seems to be going okay, so I think what we'll do is maybe we'll go ahead and press the bearing on, and then we'll do the same thing with the spacer here. This will go on, or the lock ring, I mean, this will go on behind it here. Okay, I've got the press readjusted, pins in, and I flipped my blocks around. On one side we got the large cutout here, and on the other side there's just a little radius machined in there. And what that does, you need to be on the inner race. Never press on the outside of the race, you'll damage the bearing, and sometimes you could cause some damage. But I was going to try to show you, but the inside of the blocks here have that little radius, and it'll go all the way up next to the axle. Just push it in like that, so it'll be sitting on the radius. I mean on the inner race. Okay, I think that'll work there. Let's give it a little pressure and see what it does. Look at that, going right on there. And then I like to try to back off just a little, just to make sure that it's not getting cocked. That's a nice sounding press fit there. And we'll just go all the way to that shoulder. It'll just stop there. Come down and touch it. All right, there it is, touched. Okay. All right, what I'm going to do is take it inside, and I'm going to start the locking collar on there just like I showed you on the bearing, and then we'll bring it back out here and press it onto. So you get it out, you move that block over. Okay, see? So I'll be right back. All right, I was trying to bump it on there and it just didn't want to start. It kept trying to rock back and forth right there on the start. I mic'd it and there's 2.5 thousandths interference fit on that, so that's pretty tight. So we're just gonna go ahead and force it on with the press. Both sides look to be the same. Okay. All right, here we go. Round two. There she goes. And hydraulic pressure will move something. Just want to make sure I'm not binding up on that shaft there. That was pretty tight. It's a lot tighter than that bearing was. That's probably why it didn't want to come off. I'm just going to come up and touch the bearing. All right, right there. We've got full contact. And our job is done. Get some of that dust off of it. There it is. There's a Jeep Wrangler axle bearing replacement for you. So this is going to be another little segment called I'll Show You Mine, which is something that Tom Lipton started some videos back whenever he had an idea to share some of the tools that people have. Somebody shows something they have and then you return and show something that you have. And again, this is just something fun that we like to do with each other, and we always love to see each other's tools and the little collections that we have. I love to see other guys' collections too. So I got something here I thought I'd share with you. We're standing, this is my dad's machinist toolbox, and I don't believe I've ever gone into this box with you, but we're not going through the whole box. We're just going to go through one drawer. And recently, well, I mean, I wouldn't say recently, just quite often, I guess, you'll see guys in their flea market finds, car boot finds, picking up spring calipers. And I too have a pretty good collection of spring calipers of all different sizes and brands, and you know, and you'll also remember, if you followed our videos, that me and Tom got into this thing called Big Tool Slapdown, which he also named. And I think I started that last year whenever he went to the flea market and he found some outside calipers that were pretty big, and I had told him in his comment, I was like, hey, I think I got one that's a little bigger than yours. And that was this guy right here. And I don't remember what the measurement is now, but anyway, that's my biggest caliper I have right here, a spring type caliper. But then this is a Starrett, and it's very old. We have used it a few times. All right. So I thought I'd show you my spring caliper collection, and that's in this drawer right here in the middle. So I'm going to set the camera here, point it down, and we'll pull the drawer out and do a little exploring. Okay. Okay, so here's our spring caliper collection. Nice wide variety of spring calipers and dividers and calipers of all different makes and models and shapes. Lots of different stuff in here. And if you did see Keith Fenner's video on one of the tool nominations, I did send him a box with all kinds of things, and some of the tools I sent him was some inside outside spring calipers and some dividers, and those came from this drawer. I picked those out, and I picked out some good ones. They were Starrett. They were the Toolmaker style, like this. That's got the round body on it. Two of them were Starrett. The other one was Union. They were not, that I know of, my dad's or my granddad's. They didn't have their name on it, but I've got plenty, and I wanted to donate something good that somebody else could use, so I picked those three out. Now there are a few undesirable ones in here, like these. This come from another toolbox, and I put them in here just because I try to keep all these together. These are imported. They got some rust on them, but there's several of the small ones. I believe I just seen Paul Compton show one like this, and he picked up at a swap meet. Several different brands. This is a Craftsman right here. Lutz, L-U-T-Z. But there's a few in here that you probably might find interesting. Oh, check this out. There's that Starrett number 289A rule clamp. Tom Lipton sent me one in a tool trade because I didn't think I had one, and I remember going through this drawer one day and finding this clamp laying down in here like that. I'm like, gee, Tom, look, I did have one, so now I got two, and obviously that belonged to somebody. This is an interesting one right here. Looks very old. It's got the clamp on it, so you know you can adjust it and lock it down with the little wing nut. And this one is made by Hilger and Sons. Be interested to know how old that one might be and where it was made. And there's a lot of Starrett, Brown and Sharp, Union, Lufkin, those kind of brands, just all mixed in here. This one here, I didn't ever show you guys. I don't know where it come from. It was in this drawer, and it was completely rusted up, and you can see it still is. I actually had used the CLR trick on this one last year whenever Chuck Bomarito was showing that, and I did get them kind of cleaned up, but I never did buff them or anything, and I put them back in here. I don't know what happened to that footage. I never did show you guys that. So I don't know. I mean, there's really just too many. Okay, this is that other imported one that goes to those other ones here. But I can dig through here and find several of them that have my granddad's name on it. There was one right here. James Booth. This was one of my granddad's. And this is one that we used often because the ends here are ground to a sharp V. So you can use these when you're checking your thread, whenever you're threading something. You can measure the root diameter with something like that. And there was some other ones in here too I wanted to kind of mention. When you have plenty or you find some second hands, you can modify them. Now this one here, now here's a Miller's Falls. I don't know if this is factory or if somebody did that, but you see how they're bent out. So you can get in and check internal grooves with something like that. And we had some other ones that we had modified too, like that. This is one that we used to use all the time. This is a Starrett. You can use this one to check internal threads with. You come to a really small point. So I was going to try to find some of the more oddball ones. I don't know what that is. Anyway, like I said, there's too many to go through, but it is a nice little collection, and I'm very proud to have these. Look at this one here. Okay, there's a maker's mark there. New Haven. I don't see anything else on there except New Haven. That's a really old design right there. Somebody's brazed a little hook on this side here. Okay. Yeah, just lots and lots. There's a magnifying glass. That comes in handy. Lots of the same things. A wooden box. Oh, look at that. Another one I forgot about is a depth mic. This one's kind of unusual. And there it is. JT Slocum Company. This one's unusual in the fact that you, let's see, it's been a long time since I've played with this. Yeah, okay. So it's like a collet out here on this end, and what you do is you pull the rod out and then you remove these sleeves here. So it looks like it's a 0 to 2 inch depth mic. And you guys got one like that? Alright, well, I mean, I think you kind of get the idea here. We've got quite a few spring calipers. Some of these are really old. A lot of them need a little cleanup, but they do the job. They get it done. So I think we'll just kind of leave it at that. There's another big one right there. And we do have some more spread out through the shop, some of the other toolboxes, but just a lot of things I just kind of leave alone and leave in there the boxes that they were in. But this drawer has always been just full of spring calipers, with the addition of a couple other tools like that angle finder there. And there's a square butt in there. There's an old center finder. An old center finder missing the hardware. So, alright, there's our spring caliper collection.